So last year we reviewed the Cooler Master MH650 and 630 gaming headphones, and I did mention about how I'm so looking forward to the MH670 because this is the wireless version of the same series of gaming headphones. So today here we have it, the MH670 in our hands, and I will share with you what do I think about these headphones after using it for about 2 weeks. So the Cooler Master MH670, this is basically the exactly same headphones with their 630 and 650, and basically you are just getting an extra feature which is wireless, which means it is more convenient if you want to use it in your gaming setup. Now, before we get into all the features and stuff like that, we have to talk about what kind of accessories you get inside the box. So out of the box, you'll get the MH670 gaming headset, a detachable microphone, the same one with the MH650 and 630, a detachable 3.5mm audio jack, a USB Type-A to micro USB cable. I'll talk about this later in this review. And of course, to support the wireless feature, you will have this wireless receiver dongle. This is using 2.4 GHz standard, so the delay is almost not noticeable, unlike Bluetooth. One interesting accessory Cooler Master has added inside the package is actually this USB Type-A to Type-C OTG adapter. Now, here's the thing. Instead of the straight adapter, Cooler Master has given you this L shape. The benefit of having L-shaped adapter is that you can use it with your laptops, PC, and even smartphones. If you just plug in this, it won't stick out like a weird stuff from your phone. So, I mean, you get the idea. And apart from all those accessories, you do get a travel pouch. Although I do hope they included a hard pouch, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, that pretty much is what you can expect from getting the MH670. Now let us talk about the MH670. The build quality, again, since this is exactly the same MH650, 630 kind of headphones, you can expect they are having the same sort of build quality. You still get this very flexible headband. And just one thing I can straight away tell you is different is the material of the ear cups and the headband over here. They no longer using the mesh fabric ear cups for that, and instead, because of this is regarded as a premium line of headphones, they have opted to go for PU leather. Now, not to say PU leather is bad, but I just think that they has done a very good job with this mesh fabric ear cup. So I just don't know why they want to make it different for the MH670, and especially when you try to make this product to feel premium but at the cost of comfort. I know it is not really that hard, but again, if you try to wear this for long hours, PU leather is definitely not going to be as comfortable as what they have previously done, the mesh fabric ear cup. One benefit of using PU leather is of course the so-called passive noise isolation, but personally I would say it is definitely not worth that extra few decibels of noise isolation, because number one, if you want to wear it for a long period of time, PU leather is definitely not suitable for that. Oh, by the way, if you really don't like the PU leather on the MH670, at least this ear cup can easily remove, so you can actually purchase any third-party ear cups and you can just fit in straight in. Now, moving on to the buttons on the MH670, the layout is still the same with the MH650 and 630 with some extra buttons. For example, because of the wireless functions, you have power button for this MH670. So basically, you need to turn it on and off if you're trying to use it. Now, the charging is done through this micro USB port. I'm not too sure why Cooler Master is 2021 right now, even though this product is 2020, but still, it still doesn't give you any excuse to use micro USB. Just no. Beside the micro USB port is the 7.1, a virtual 7.1 toggle button over here. Personally, I don't like the placement of this button because it has exactly the same surface feel with the power button. So sometimes when I wear it, it is hard for me to feel which one is which. So it is not exactly a good place to put. But unlike the other button over here, which is the mic mute button, they have used this sort of push-in type of mic mute button. So it is very easy to tell whether your mic is mute or not. Now, one thing, speaking of the mic, I don't really like is this detachable mic port over here. This flap thing is kind of stupid. Of course, I do understand some people, they don't really use the built-in microphone. That's why they have opted for this kind of flaps. Those who don't use the mic, they can keep the microphone and then keep the hole shut, and you can see why it is so annoying, because it is just very difficult to keep it shut. Of course, I know not everyone is taking this off and on all the time, but it's just annoying. Now, here's another thing about the MH670 is its flexibility. Now you see, Cooler Master has included this 3.5mm audio jack. This is a 4-pole TRRS cable. You basically just plug into the headphone, twist to lock it. Now you can use your MH670 as a wired headphone. It is very easy for you to use on older devices, or sometimes you just don't want to use the wireless functionality. Now, one thing I'm not sure why Cooler Master has not included is the TRS adapter. So basically right now, if you are using this, you are tied down to audio only, so the mic will not work on your PCs, especially because PC will require you to adapt it into the microphone and the audio separately. Let's talk about the sound quality of the MH670. Because they are using exactly the same audio driver from the other MH630 and 650 series, personally, I can't tell if there's any difference in their quality. Even go through the wireless or even USB mode or the wired 3.5mm wire mode. So honestly speaking, you are getting the MH670 for its convenience, which is the wireless feature. Now, here's the thing. Like I mentioned previously on the MH650 and 630's review, their bass is not exactly that heavy, but the good thing is that their sound stage is really good. You can straight away tell which location your enemy is, because this one is gaming headset, so I'm really reviewing from the perspective of gaming. So it is really good for gaming, but for movies that can be a little bit more underwhelming because the lack of bass and the vocals is not exactly the strong points over here, especially when you're trying to listen to some of those music with a lot of instruments going around. With vocals, it can get a little bit muddy from that side. But apart from that, overall, as a gaming headphones for normal music, entertainment and stuff like that, it should work without any problem. Now, the microphone, again, like I mentioned, it is the exact same microphone from the MH650 and 630. So it is pretty clear for all your gaming quality communications and stuff like that. Discord, it works fine, but I do hope Cooler Master has included a foam filter for the microphone, because right now you have actually nothing in front of the microphone, so you will actually pick up all your breathing noise. So this is how the microphone sounds like on the Cooler Master MH670. Now, all those aside, for a plug and play kind of headphones, this is really good. But we cannot forget about the software. Cooler Master do have the Master Plus software for this headphone, and I hate the software. Seriously, when you download and install the software, you have only two tabs. Number one, the first tab is, I believe, is sound. You can actually adjust the equalizer for this headphone. By default, they actually have 3 different profiles preloaded into the software. So whenever you load the software, it will load one of the profile from the list. And here is a problem. The 3 preset profiles are very bad. And you have no choice, because every single time when you open the software, they will load it even though if you choose not to load. So my suggestion is you need to reset all of the 3 preset profiles into flat mode, and even better if you can create another profiles, just call it flat, and move all the equalizer into the flat. And that should sound great for you, and you don't have to worry about every single time you open a software then they will load a profile that is not sounding that good. Now another tab is to control the 7.1 virtual audio, the surround system. Virtual surround is never going to sound as good as the actual surround. Never. Because at the end you still only have 2 drivers on either side. And I think the Master Plus software is still lacking in various different ways. For example, there's no way for you to know if the battery life on the MH670, how much is it left? The software will not tell you. And yeah, it is very frustrating if you want to use the software. But for plug and play, it works just fine. Now speaking of the battery life, this is something that really surprised me. Cooler Master has officially stated 25 hours of battery life. To my use case, I believe it is slightly longer than that, because I have never charged this headphone throughout my almost 2 weeks of usage, and I use it for like almost 2 hours every single day. Just that I'm not too sure how Cooler Master managed to keep the battery life long, because I don't really notice the headphone actually go into sleep mode, because sometimes these kind of wireless headset, they have this sleep mode. When you put it down, it will detect there's no music or there is no movement for this kind of headset, then it will go into sleep mode. So if you remember, I did review the Corsair Virtuoso wireless headphone previously. That model actually has some sort of gyroscope in it, so they will actually detect if you actually pick it up, then it will go up, actually wake up from sleep mode, and that is the way how the Corsair save the battery life. This one, I really don't know what they have done to it. Maybe they put in a very big battery in it, who knows, because the weight difference is quite significant compared to the MH650. So all in all, the Cooler Master MH670, this is a pretty good wireless headset. Consider this is their very first wireless headset for Cooler Master. I think they have done a pretty decent job at that. Of course, it is not 100% perfect. There are a few quirks here and there. For example, why they are not using USB Type-C charging port, why the software is still lacking. But overall, if you just ignore the software, like just take this headphone out of the box, plug the USB receiver dongle to your PC, and you can straight away enjoy wireless audio without having to think about all this cable going around the table. And lastly, for the price, this MH670 is officially priced at 459 ringgit Malaysia, which is about 120 ringgit more expensive compared to the MH650's 339 ringgit Malaysia. So you are basically paying the extra 120 for the wireless capabilities, which is convenient purposes. And honestly speaking, apart from all those, I think the 120 ringgit is a decent price to go for it, because if you look at the competitors' products, most of them can easily go up to 500, 600 and even 800 ringgit in price. And also not to forget about the versatility of the MH670 in different scenarios. If you want to use wireless, use a dongle. If you want to use wire mode, just plug in this cable, and it is that easy. Yeah, that's all I want to say about the Cooler Master MH670. Like I mentioned earlier, I was really looking forward to test the MH670 after we reviewed the MH630 and 650. At the end, I'm pleasantly satisfied with this headphone, even though after all the complaints here and there. But at the end, it is a really good if you look at the price you're paying and what kind of features and you're getting. Remember, you don't have to pay for 800 ringgit or so for a wireless headset, and it is a pretty decent one. So yeah, do let us know what you guys think about the Cooler Master MH670, and I'll see you guys in the next video.